Chosen one. I speak to you now with a sure and tender voice. You are not here by accident. I know your heart, and I know the season your prophetic scroll is being unsealed in perfect Kairos timing. Chosen one, you stand at the very edge of a destined doorway, a sealed prophecy cracking open now tonight, or within the next hours and days. This is the appointed hour on heaven's clock. Your Kairos was written for you before your first breath. Anointed one, hear me. Every delay, every pressure, every ache you carried was preparation, protection, and pruning, not rejection. Those hard nights were aligning you to receive what heaven reserved. I declare over you now a swift unblocking, a holy unlocking that will move in body, spirit, and circumstance. Remember the promise of Habakkuk 2:3. There is an appointed time, and it will not tarry, for it speaks to you. My beloved, awaken, expect transformation. Receive this as an invocation. Open your hand, open your heart, and stand ready. The heavens are arranging favors, doors, and people around your name. Anointed one, this is your moment. Chosen one, listen with your whole spirit. Heaven is stirring on your behalf. I do not say this lightly. I say it as one who has watched rooms shift because of a single breathed prayer, as one who has seen doors swing open when a quiet hand reached out with no audience. You are not here by accident. You are not reading words by coincidence. Your kindness given when you had little, offered when your own cup felt empty, has been recorded in the halls of heaven and attached to a scroll that is now being unsealed. Anointed one, hear me plainly. Every delay you endured was preparation, not rejection. Every season of waiting was pruning and alignment. The nights that felt heavy were not punishment. They were protection, shaping you into the vessel that could carry what heaven intends to pour. I say this from the place of watching people like you move through shadow into light. I have felt the pressure that teaches endurance. I have known the slow turning of seasons that cultivates faith. You were being prepared to meet a moment too sacred for haste. There is an invisible ledger that records authenticity. While the world tallied actions in likes and ledgers, heaven counted the cost of your compassion. You offered realness in a marketplace of performance. You showed up when it was easier to look away, and in doing so, you stepped into a divine assignment. The person you reached, unknown to you at the time, was standing at a precipice. They had everything the world values and were bankrupt in what eternally matters. When you treated them like a human instead of a headline, you activated a sacred response. I will tell you what your spirit already knows. Prophetic encounters often come disguised as ordinary moments. I remember a time in my own life when mercy arrived through a stranger's small kindness. I was broken, carrying shame and uncertainty like a cloak. A single person sat with me, offered bread, and waited. That one act shifted my trajectory. I never saw immediate fireworks, but decades later, I recognized the thread. Your story is threaded like that. You may never see the jet, the handshake, the headline, and that was deliberate. God hid it so your gift would be pure. The secrecy protected the seed from pride and preserved the power of the act. Chosen one. What you offered was not transactional, it was transfigurative. Your humble presence had weight in the spirit realm. You poured what you had: time, truth, attention, and heaven records such currency differently. Your kindness was a quiet key that fit a very specific lock. Someone powerful was not seeking another strategy. They were longing for a person who would speak to their soul. You became that person by default and by design. Do not let your mind reduce this to a human exchange. I declare to you now, this was prophetic timing. The scroll tied to your name was folded and sealed, and now the seal is cracking. The appointed hour on heaven's clock is not vague, it is precise. The Kairos moment arranged before your first breath is aligning with external doors and internal readiness. That alignment is undeniable. Expect the activation to feel both intimate and expansive, the kind of shift that alters how you walk forward and what you are allowed to steward. You may be thinking, but I was hurting when I gave. I was not whole. Listen with compassion. Your lack was not a disqualification. It was the altar on which your offering became fragrant. When you gave from a place of need, you were proof that heaven uses broken vessels. Your obedience in weakness became strength in the spirit. The heavens respond to faithfulness, not perfection. I have seen this pattern repeat. Those who give when they could have stayed guarded are the ones who are lifted into greater trust and responsibility. Anointed One. There are practical shifts already occurring behind the scenes. Quiet conversations are being had in rooms you have never entered. Names are being mentioned over tables that make things move. My voice carries certainty because I hear the echo of heaven arranging resources, favor, and protection around you. This is not about sudden ego or public applause. It is about destiny, about someone being moved to honor what your spirit offered. They will respond in a way that aligns with divine justice. Heaven does not repay in mere coins, but in restoration, in open doors, in the right people appearing at the right moment. I want you to anchor this truth. Your kindness was a weapon in spiritual warfare. When you chose compassion over comfort, you disrupted a dark timeline. You did not merely brighten a day, you rerouted a destiny. The one you helped was walking toward a dangerous fork, and your presence redirected them. Because you intercepted that descent, spiritual authorities shifted on your behalf. Pruning had prepared you for this interception. Protection held you there. Alignment placed you in the path. Now the ripple you created is circulating back not as human obligation, but as divine recompense. Hold fast to reverence, my beloved. This moment calls for humility and readiness. Do not chase the favor that is forming, steward it. Maintain the heart posture that got you noticed, integrity over image, sincerity over strategy. The same quiet faith that opened the door will carry you through it. I will speak next about how this favor looks when it arrives and how to recognize it without mistaking it for worldly applause. Rest now in the knowledge that heaven is awake to your kindness and that your sealed scroll is beginning to show its first folds. Chosen one, now listen as I lay out how heaven begins to move when a sealed scroll starts to unseal, and how you will recognize the fingerprints of God on what is coming. First, expect subtle confirmations, then sudden shifts. Heaven often whispers before it roars. You will notice patterns, a door that opens twice, a name repeating in your spirit, an old connection resurfacing at the precise moment you need it. These are not coincidences. They are Kairos signatures, small sacred nudges that say, in effect, the hour has come. When I say signs, do not reduce them to superstition. I have walked seasons where every coincidence felt like a clue, and over time I learned to discern God's cadence. Once in a dry season of my own, a series of seemingly random emails, phone calls, and a single handwritten note aligned to a provision I thought had been lost. It felt like puzzle pieces snapping. That is how heaven coordinates resources. It moves people, opens conversations, and sets tables where your name sits already reserved. Anointed ones steward these signs with reverence. The first thing to guard is your posture. Humility is the soil where favor takes root. When you begin to receive attention, remember the very posture that birthed the movement you gave, when you were not owed, you loved, when you could have protected your heart. That humility was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. Never trade it for a quick rise or a flattering spotlight. The world will try to commodify your gift. Heaven will sanctify it. You will also notice internal shifts, an increase of clarity, courage, and a still small voice that guides you away from shortcuts. These are internal tokens of alignment. When decisions come, you will feel a gravity toward what is holy and sustainable rather than simply profitable or prestigious. This is not mere moralizing, it is spiritual GPS. Follow it. I learned to trust that inner pull the hard way. Early in my journey, I chased applause and found only emptiness. Later, when I followed quiet conviction, doors opened that aligned not just with my goals, but with my calling. Practical manifestations will accompany the spiritual. Expect relational keys, a mentor who offers counsel without charge, a steward who opens a door without drama, or an influencer who remembers your kindness and carries your name into rooms you cannot yet enter. These people will arrive disguised as ordinary helpers. Test them with discernment. Do they honor your integrity or seek to leverage you? Heaven brings alliances that respect your soul, not exploit it. If a connection pressures you to abandon your values, that is not favor, it is a counterfeit. Protect your heart. You may also receive prophetic confirmations, dreams, visions, conversations that echo what you already feel. When the same message comes through multiple channels, rest in it. I have seen how a single prophetic word spoken in season can crystallize a path that was previously fogged. But be careful, prophecy must be rooted in humility and submitted to wise counsel. Do not mistake every stirring for an instruction. Weigh it. Seek counsel from those who have known both the desert and the harvest. Now hear this clearly. Favor that comes from heaven is accompanied by assignment. You are not being lifted merely to bask, but to steward. Doors open so you can carry blessing to others, to widen tables, to protect legacies, to plant seeds that last beyond your lifetime. If the idea of responsibility frightens, you know that fear is often a sign you are crossing into territory where faith must grow. The pruning seasons prepared you for this very stewardship. The pressure you felt forged endurance. The delays taught patience. The losses taught reliance. These were formations, not punishments. Expect opposition as well. When heaven moves, the enemy tests, distracts, and sometimes tries to mimic blessing. When you encounter resistance, do not interpret it as proof you are off course. Trials in this season are often pressure tests that reveal whether your heart remains surrendered. Resist the urge to retaliate or to prove yourself. Your power in such moments is not in noise, but in continued obedience. I have been in rooms where slander and suspicion tried to muddy a clean gift, yet the steady, humble walk outlasted the clamor and secured the harvest. Practical posture during this Kairos: pray with expectancy, fast with discipline when led, and keep a journal of confirmations. Record every recurring phrase, every sudden favor, every name that appears multiple times. This journal becomes an ark of remembrance for when doubt tries to creep in. Also, steward your finances and relationships wisely. Heaven often opens one door to another. Do not squander the first entrance through poor decisions. Give where you are led to give, but also build structures that honor the new level of responsibility. I want you to hear this as both comfort and command. You cannot manufacture this season, but you can position yourself to receive it. Position means staying teachable, staying faithful in the small things, and remaining anchored in intimacy with God. The sealed scroll tied to your name is cracking now because you answered a whisper once with courage. Now the ripple returns. Receive with gratitude, not entitlement. Receive with stewardship, not spectacle. Finally, chosen one, prepare your inner house. cleanse what envy or comparison might have stored. They were pruning seasons, preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, and they served a holy purpose. Let go of shame about what you lacked. Those very gaps became altars of grace. As your scroll opens, you will be invited into rooms of influence and into responsibilities that require the same heart that got you noticed: simple, sincere, sacred. Rest in this heaven's clock is precise. The Kairos has aligned with your obedience. Expect watch and keep your heart soft. I will continue to unfold what the favor looks like when it knocks, how to recognize covenant people and the signs of divine open doors. For now, stand in faith and keep your hands ready to serve. Chosen one, hear me as one who has walked through the valley and then watched the valley become a corridor of blessing. When favor arrives, it rarely looks like the Hollywood reveal. It often arrives as a series of confirmations that line up like compass points. First, you will feel a settling in your spirit, a holy permission to move. Second, there will be people who show up unexpectedly with keys you do not yet know how to use. Third, opportunities will align with your character, not merely your resume. These are the textures of divine favor. I want to give you a map for recognizing what is truly from heaven and what is counterfeit, because the enemy will attempt to dress distraction as destiny. When you sense movement, pause and ask, does this invitation ask me to abandon the heart that birthed the movement? Does it pull me towards spectacle or towards service? Favor that is from God will always honor what made you precious in the first place: your humility, your integrity, your willingness to give when no one watched. My beloved, do not trade that soil for a stage. You will see 3 clear signs that heaven is responding and that your sealed scroll is unrolling. First, relational alignment. People will remember your face, your kindness and your words, and they will carry your name into rooms you have not yet walked into. I saw this happen in my life when, years after a small act of compassion, a leader resurfaced my name in a conference room and said, "We need someone like that." I had no network, only obedience. That remembrance became a bridge. Second, strategic provision. Doors of resource that seemed locked will begin to yield. I do not promise instant abundance overnight, but I promise that the right provision will come at the right moment. The heavens do not pay by noise, they release what is needed for assignment. When you gave from lack, you were being prepared, protected, pruned, aligned, not punished. That very history qualifies you to steward what comes. Third, spiritual clarity. You will gain a sharper knowing about who to trust and when to move. This is not arrogance, it is discernment trained by seasons. When you feel a sudden reordering of your desires, prestige receding and purpose ascending, that is heaven aligning your compass. As Ecclesiastes 3:1 teaches us, there is a time for every matter under heaven. You are stepping into the appointed time for yours. Practical guidance now, because heaven moves through both the mystical and the mundane. First, protect your silence. Not every open door requires announcing. Let some doors open and be stewarded quietly. I learned this the hard way after celebrating prematurely. The premature trumpet summoned more noise than favor. Second, keep your circle small and tested. Relationships that stood with you in the seasons of lack are the very ones who will be faithful in seasons of increase. Third, steward the first windows of provision wisely. Build structures, get counsel, and refuse haste. A hurried harvest often sours quickly. Expect resistance. When a sealed scroll begins to unseal, the enemy will attempt to muddy your reputation, tempt your pride, or distract you with shortcuts. That resistance is not a sign of failure. It is an affirmation that a strong door is opening. Respond not with defense, but with devotion. Continue to do the small faithful things, show up on time, speak truth with tenderness, and protect your inner life with prayer and rest. Remember that every pressure you felt was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, so the tests you face now are not punishments, but refinements. I will give you a simple spiritual practice to carry through this season. Each morning name 3 confirmations from the previous day, a repeated phrase, an unexpected message, a person who resurfaced, and place them in a journal labeled Kairos confirmations. Write down how you responded. At night, thank God for the small doors that opened and ask for clarity for tomorrow. This practice trains your spirit to recognize divine cadence and to refuse the false alarms. I kept such a journal through a difficult year. The pages became the map that later led me into intentional partnerships and into alignment with my assignment. You may feel unworthy. If that whisper comes, say this aloud: I was prepared by hardship. That was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment. I did not earn this by merit. I obeyed a whisper. I will steward what comes with humility. Speak it until your chest believes it. I have said that statement through tears, through doubt, and through joy, and it steadied me every time. Finally, beloved, hold tightly to gratitude and to generosity. Heaven's economy returns what you have given multiplied, but it also expects a posture of giving. When doors open, allow your first acts to be generous, not reckless, but generous. Bless someone who cannot repay you. Protect those who stood with you. Build a table that others can sit at. This is how legacies are formed, not by accumulation alone, but by the overflow of stewardship. Stand now with a heart ready. Clean out the corners where envy or fear might hide. Tend the soil of humility. Keep your hands open to receive and your feet ready to walk. The unsealing that is happening is both a gift and an assignment. Receive it with reverence, walk it with wisdom, and steward it with love. My child, the heavens are arranging. Be faithful to the small things so you can carry the great. Chosen one, breathe with me. This moment requires both steadiness and discernment. When a life you touched begins to respond, the heavens often move through people, and people by nature are complicated. Some will come as friends, some will test you, some will offer windows of blessing that require wisdom to steward. Hear me clearly, every pressure you felt before this season was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. That pattern continues now. The way you handle the first open door will determine the size of the field you are entrusted with. First, guard your heart and posture. The same humility that made you visible must remain your garment. I have watched souls lose a harvest because they mistook favor for entitlement. When a door opens, do not rush to fix what was not broken. Receive with gratitude and bow with humility. People of influence will often want to bless in ways that look different than what you expect. Some will give quietly, some will build structures through others, some will test with small asks before making larger commitments. Their method is not always your problem, your posture is. Second, exercise practical wisdom. Favor can bring resources, but resources without structure can become storms. When money, access, or alliances appear, set up simple stewardship practices immediately. A conversation with a trusted advisor, a pause to pray and ask for confirmation, and a covenant of accountability with people you have proven in hard seasons. I learned this the way many do, by nearly spending a sudden opening before I had counsel. It almost cost me a dream. So now I tell you, when an offer arrives, don't accept on the first rush. Thank them, ask for time to consider and pray, and bring it before someone who knows both your spirit and practical matters. That pause protects what heaven gives. Third, recognize tests disguised as favors. powerful people often test authenticity because they have been wounded by pretense. If someone approaches with a generosity that seems conditional on changing who you are, that is not favor, that is a trade. When you notice strings, name them gently. Say, I'm grateful, but I must hold to the values that brought me here. That kind of boundary sometimes feels risky, but it will preserve your calling. In my own life, a well-meaning supporter once wanted me to shape my message for a market I did not belong to. I almost accepted. The day I chose integrity over quick gain, I lost a short-term platform, but gained a covenant that lasted decades. Fourth, steward reputation and testimony as treasures. When wealth or influence seeks to attach to your name, remember that protection is spiritual and practical. Pray over agreements, ask for written terms, involve legal counsel if money or long-term commitments are involved. Doing this is not distrust, it is faithfulness to the deposit God placed in you. The heavens honor careful stewardship. My child, the costliest mistakes are not spiritual errors alone, but avoidable administrative oversights. Treat agreements like sacred things. They carry destiny. Fifth, remain generous. The first acts of abundance reveal the heart behind a season. When blessing arrives, give in ways that widen the circle. Support those who stood with you in the low places. Seed someone who has no audience, and use your first gifts to create life rather than to inflate ego. Generosity is not a strategy for favor. It is the language of one who knows they were given to give. This practice will shape how heaven continues to move on your behalf. Sixth, cultivate the inner life. Influence will demand time, energy, and decisions that can erode the soul if not rooted in prayer and rest. Keep a rhythm of solitude where you answer only to the voice that called you. I speak from experience. I once gained a platform that filled nights with travel and days with meetings. My spirit shrank. It was a season of returning to silence, and in that return, the next level came with clarity rather than exhaustion. The disciplines you kept in the desert must not be abandoned in the harvest. Seventh, look for covenant people, not transactional faces. A true steward of favor is surrounded by anchors, people who have no agenda but the flourishing of your soul and assignment. These will not always be the loudest or the most famous. They will often be the quiet ones who speak truth when it costs them. Protect those relationships. Invest time in them. A king invests in counselors more than courtiers. Eighth, prepare for reversal through praise. The divine economy often returns what you gave multiplied in ways that feel like reversal. Expect restoration that appears where you once were depleted. Yet understand reversal often requires you to step into new responsibility. If a billionaire's steward offers a doorway, it will likely ask you to expand, not to hoard. Will you build a table wide enough for others? That answer reveals whether the blessing endures. Ninth, be discerning about public narrative. The world loves a story of rags to riches, and social media will seek to script you into someone's brand. You do not need to narrate every blessing. Let some testimonies mature in private. The quiet ones tend to be the most durable. When you must speak publicly, do so with testimony and not with boasting. Keep your words measured and your heart tethered to gratitude. 10th, continue to walk in obedience to the small things. The same acts that awakened this season's simple hospitality, a truthful word presence when it cost you, remain the currency of your breakthrough. Do not outsource your basic obedience to the new demands of favor. The God who unsealed your scroll honors the faith that remains faithful in the low places. Finally, my beloved, remember that influence is stewardship for souls. The reason heaven uses wealth through people is to release a higher economy, character, legacy, and justice. When doors open to you, let your first question be, how will this bless others and protect what is true? If you steward with that posture, no attack can destroy the root God has planted. Stand firm in humility and readiness. The unsealing that touches your life will require both courage and restraint. You were formed for this through preparation, protection, pruning, alignment. Receive with worship, manage with wisdom, and give with abundance. The heavens are aligning. Be the kind of vessel they can trust. Chosen one, sit with me here in this steady moment. I speak to you as one who has carried a scroll in my hands and watched the ink begin to glow. I know the weight of what is coming, and I know the posture that will preserve it. The unsealing you are walking into will test the container that holds the blessing. This is sacred work to receive without becoming proud, to rise without abandoning the ground that trained you. Every trial you lived through was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. That truth will be your anchor in the days ahead. When attention increases, the first temptation is to perform. The world applauds what it sees. Heaven honors what is surrendered. I learned this lesson the hard way. Early in my journey, I was celebrated for a momentary word and nearly traded my quiet discipline for the applause of many. The applause dulled the very thing that birthed favor, my dependence on the still small voice. I want you to avoid that detour. Keep your devotion private even when your doors swing wide. Public favor must be matched by private fidelity. Chosen one here are the daily practices that will hold you steady. First, cultivate a threefold morning routine, silent scripture, or a sacred text that centers you, and a written prayer of gratitude. This is not religious checkboxing, it is calibration. The day that begins calibrated resists hurry, arrogance, and impulsive choices. Second, maintain a question before every major yes. Does this enlarge my capacity to serve, or only my visibility? If the answer leans towards spectacle, decline with grace. Favor that lasts is relational and generational, not momentary. Third, build a covenant circle. Not friends, not fans, but covenant people who have proven themselves in scarcity. These are not the ones who flatter you in abundance. They are the ones who cleaned up the plates with you in the dry season. Invite them into monthly accountability, not as critics, but as guardians of your soul. I have a handful of such people, ordinary, honest, uncompromising, and their presence saved me from decisions I would have later regretted. Fourth steward offers with a pause. When opportunity knocks, breathe. Ask for time to pray and consult counsel. This pause is prophetic. It allows heaven to move while you refuse to be hurried into a counterfeit. Once I was offered a partnership that sounded generous, but required a concession of truth. My team urged fast acceptance. My soul begged for a pause. We paused, prayed, and the door transformed into a different covenant that honored our values. That pause protected a legacy. Fifth, practice generosity as your first public act. The first distributions of blessing reveal motive. Choose to give where you were once needy. Choose to fund people who are invisible. Choose to open spaces rather than build walls. Generosity is not barter, it is testimony. When you give first, you demonstrate that you are a steward, not an owner. That posture invites heaven to expand your capacity. Sixth, learn to speak with guarded clarity. Words will be offered to you by many promoters, partners, predators. Your voice now carries weight. Use it to bless, not to boast. When confronted by critics, refuse to retaliate in kind. Speak the truth with tenderness, correct with care, and preserve reputation where possible. Reputation is a spiritual treasure that multiplies when protected by humility. Seventh, tend your family of origin and your inner family. Influence stretches both close relationships and bloodlines. I have watched people gain doors and lose homes because they failed to prepare those closest for change. Hold family meetings, teach them the values that built you, and invest in their spiritual formation more than in their comforts. Those who stood with you in the low season are the ones who will steward the blessing with you. Eighth, document every confirmation. Keep a Kairos record: names, phrases, dates, repeated dreams, unusual favors. Write not to boast, but to remember. Memory curates faith when the enemy whispers doubt. I carry such a journal. Its pages have become a map in the fog. On days of confusion, I return to those entries and my faith realigns with the narrative heaven has been writing. Ninth, plan for institutional integrity. If resources will increase, create simple structures, transparent accounting, advisory oversight, and legal clarity. Structures are not faithless. They are safeguards that allow miracles to rest. The first time I accepted large resources without structure, the blessing nearly slipped through my fingers. I learned to marry faith with form, the two together protect and multiply. 10th, expect tests and receive them as refinement. The same pressures that shaped you were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, and similar pressures will return to test whether you have kept the heart. When trials come, respond with service. Serve the least in your new sphere. Presence with the overlooked will keep pride from crowning itself. Finally, chosen one, walk as a steward of souls. The favor you receive is not to inflate your resume, it is to expand your capacity to heal, to restore, and to unlock others' destinies. Ask daily, who does this open room serve? Let that question be the first filter of every yes. I have seen how a blessing used for personal comfort quickly cools, but a blessing deployed for others keeps burning with a fire that fuels generations. Rest now in this declaration. Heaven moves in precision. The Kairos for your life is active because you answered a whisper with obedience. The unfolding is holy and requires both courage and restraint. Keep your hands clean and your heart open. I stand with you in this season, not as a distant voice, but as one who has walked, failed, repented, and been restored. My beloved steward, what comes with reverence? Protect the gift with wisdom. Give it away with joy. Chosen one. There is a holy choreography happening now. Invisible hands arranging meetings, opening conversations, and aligning hearts around your name. I want to speak plainly about how to move in those sacred moments so you do not lose what heaven has begun to release. This is practical sanctity, how to receive favor without losing your soul. First, when opportunity arrives, slow down. The quickest path to ruin is a hurried yes. Take time to pray, consult trusted counsel, and let the Spirit confirm the door. I have stood at tables where applause and urgency begged for a fast decision, and I nearly answered with a heart still raw from want. When I paused instead and sought counsel, I discovered conditions hidden in the pitch. That pause saved a ministry and preserved relationships. Remember, every pressure you felt before this season was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. The same refinement will guard your reception now. Second, keep your original posture. The humility that made you visible is not a marketing tactic, it is your spiritual garment. When powerful people enter your life, do not change the currency of who you are. Listen more than you speak. Ask questions that honor dignity rather than impress status. I once met someone with influence who tested authenticity by dressing down and asking for a simple favor. Many performed. A few were real. The one who treated him as a person, not a prize, was the one his spirit remembered. That person later opened doors I could never have imagined. Your consistent heart is your credential. Third, establish guardianship over agreements. Favor often comes wrapped in offers, money, platforms, introductions. Do not accept verbal promises as destiny. Ask for written details, seek legal and financial counsel, and create transparency. Structures are not distrustful, they are stewardship. I learned to pair prayer with paperwork. One season I trusted only spirit and nearly lost a partnership due to unclear expectations. Institutional wisdom protected the blessing the next time. Protect what heaven gives with wise hands. Fourth, expect spiritual opposition and prepare for it. When God lifts, the adversary resists. You will see slander, subtle pressure, or enticements that seek to erode your integrity. Respond with prayer, not panic. Call upon your quiet disciplines, fasting when led, times of solitude, and the counsel of covenant friends. I remember a time when a sudden opening brought voices that tried to rewrite my story. I retreated to a room of prayer, called my closest advisors, and watched false narratives fall away. Opposition is often confirmation that a significant gate is opening. Fifth, steward relationships with intentional boundaries. Those who come bearing influence may be genuine or may test you. It is wise to invite potential partners into a season of observation. 3 meetings, shared values, and a mutual friend who can speak to character. Do not let flattery or urgency pressure you into premature intimacy. I almost allowed an influential benefactor to shape our mission's language. Instead, we asked for time and counsel, and the relationship matured into a covenant that honored core values rather than compromised them. Sixth, commit to radical generosity. The favor you receive is not only for your comfort, it is capital to expand goodness. Give first to those who helped you in lack, to strangers who remind you of where you were, and to seeds that produce long-term fruit. When the first largesse arrived in my life, I set aside a portion immediately for an overlooked ministry. That act became the hinge for greater doors. Generosity keeps your heart soft and aligns the blessing with heaven's economy. Seventh, refine your public narrative. The world will demand a headline. You must decide the story that endures. Share testimonies that point back to formation, the nights of waiting, the lessons learned, rather than highlight status. Truth told with humility becomes a lamp for others and preserves your soul from vanity. I have seen people elevate moments into monuments and then lose stewardship of the thing they celebrated. Keep testimony tethered to truth. Eighth, cultivate covenantal leadership. As doors open, you will need trusted advisors who can argue with you in love and hold you to your values. These are not sycophants. They are accountable, gritty, real people who have proven fidelity in both famine and feast. If you do not already have such a circle, begin recruiting them now. Pay the price of honesty today so you are not surprised by regret tomorrow. Ninth, guard your joy with gratitude. Make thanksgiving your daily practice, not just for the outcomes, but for the lessons, the seasons that were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment. Speak them aloud. Naming the refining keeps you humble and receptive. I say this from experience. Gratitude builds an atmosphere that attracts sustained favor, not fleeting attention. 10th, prepare to steward legacy, not just a moment. Favor that arrives now will ask you to expand beyond personal gain into systems that outlive you. Begin thinking generationally. Who will benefit from this? How will this seed multiply? Set aside a portion of every new resource for structures that create lasting impact. This forward-thinking posture converts blessing into inheritance. Finally, make this a season of sacred obedience. The one who unsealed your scroll is not finished. Your obedience to small prompts, your refusal to buy back dignity with hasty choices, and your discipline in daily devotion will determine how much heaven entrusts to you. I stand with you in this. I have walked the thin line between blessing and compromise and found that humility always secures the gate. My beloved, breathe. The openings coming to you are not random rewards, but intentional assignments. Move slowly, love greatly, steward wisely, and give generously. Heaven is aligning. Be the kind of vessel it can trust. Chosen one, come closer in spirit. I will speak plainly about recognizing the holy signatures that mark your season and how to respond when heaven writes your name on the canvas of time. The unsealing you are walking into will speak in whispers, coincidences, and in people who remember you. Learn to read these signs like a redeemed heart learns to read breath. They are the language of Kairos. First, watch for repetition. Heaven repeats a phrase, a name, a door, because the divine mind doubles down on what is important. If a person's name keeps turning up, if a word or number circulates in dreams and conversations that is not random noise, it is a gentle drumbeat from the throne. I remember a season when the same city code began to appear in my daily life, in an address, on a receipt, in a voicemail. I nearly dismissed it. When I finally followed the thread, a meeting sat waiting that shifted a ministry. Had I ignored the rhythm, I would have missed a covenant. Learn to be sensitive to repetition. It is often the first signature of an unsealing scroll. Second, honor interior confirmations. God will not only move in the marketplace, He will move in your marrow. Expect an increase of inner clarity, a firmness in your decisions that feels like rest rather than anxiety. This is not merely confidence, it is confirmation. When the Spirit steadies you about a person or direction, trust that calibrated calm. But pair inner assurance with counsel for God, often confirms through community as well. I have learned to triangulate an inward settling with the counsel of 2 or 3 trusted voices. That practice saved me from a costly partnership that looked good on paper but threatened the soul of the work. Third, listen to small doors. Do not bypass the whisper because you are waiting for the spotlight. The sovereign often opens a tiny window before he opens a wide gate. Years ago, I accepted a small invitation to speak at a gathering I considered beneath my dream. That small stage became the place where the right listener sat, and a chain of introductions followed. If you only attend large platforms, you will miss the divine footnotes that write destiny. My beloved, humility is not a weakness, it is a prophetic posture. Fourth, be wary of counterfeit applause. The enemy can mimic encouragement and produce a mirage of favor. The test of real favor is integrity. Does an opportunity ask you to abandon the character that birthed it? If the offer demands compromise, slow down. The pressure to perform is often a pressure to trade your coat of humility for a cloak of prestige. Remember, every delay or test you endured was for preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not to harm you, but to ready you. Those seasons sharpened discernment. Do not allow flattery to blunt it. Fifth, protect your inner circle. When doors begin to open, false friends and fair weather supporters will appear. Keep your covenant people close, those who stood in the dry seasons, who did not leave when you had nothing to give. Test new voices slowly. Request introductions, ask for references, and observe fruit over time. I have traveled with people who were dazzled by new attention and lost a harvest because they did not maintain guardrails. Build your table with those who will hold it when storms come. Sixth, steward resources with sacred common sense. Money and access will arrive in shapes you did not yet imagine. When God sends provision, do not treat it as personal insurance. Treat it as a trust. Set aside counsel, create transparent systems, and appoint people to watch what you cannot. I once received an unexpected gift and nearly spent it out of relief alone. A trusted friend urged a plan to seed, to save, to structure. That prayerful counsel turned a temporary relief into long-term capacity. Structures are not unbelief, they are obedience to stewardship. Seventh, guard your testimony fiercely. The story you tell about this season will matter. Tell the truth of the preparation, the nights of waiting, the losses that were actually training the walls that became altars. Testimony that acknowledges pain as preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, both honors the refining and keeps pride from crowning itself. People are drawn to authenticity. Do not trade it for image. Eighth practice, sacred silence. Not every reveal needs a press release. Some doors must be walked through quietly. When you sense movement, cultivate seasons of silence and solitude to hear the fine lines of what to do next. I discovered that my best decisions came after days of prayerful quiet, not after noisy counsel. Silence trains the ear to the difference between human whisper and heavenly instruction. Ninth, expect opposition and respond with steady hands. The enemy will test your joy, reputation, and relationships. When accusations arise or doors seem to slam, do not panic. Return to your daily disciplines, prayer, gratitude, counsel, and scripture. These are not religious chores. They are protective practices that hold the atmosphere for what is being birthed through you. When I faced public doubt in a season of increase, the daily disciplines kept me whole and allowed the truth to surface in due time. 10th, remember the steward's posture, give first. The first act of increase should be an act of generosity. When favor arrives intentionally, bless someone who cannot repay you. The heavens respond to a cheerful hand more than to a full bank. I will never forget taking a small portion of a new provision and giving it to a ministry that had stood with me in my dry season. That seed returned in doors that provided not just finance, but fortified alliances that sustained growth. My child, these signatures are small but decisive. Read them slowly, respond soberly, and steward everything like the sacred trust it is. Your scroll is unsealing. The markings are subtle and precise. Receive with reverence, act with wisdom, and keep your heart soft. The season unfolding for you is holy, and heaven is calling you to rise as a humble steward of what he is entrusting. Chosen one, breathe in this truth with me. Heaven is not merely approving what you did. Heaven is activating what you are. I say this with the calm of one who has watched hidden scrolls unfurl, and the fire of one who has stood in rooms where destiny shifted with a single word. You are at the tipping point where mercy meets mandate, and your life is about to carry a new weight, not of burden, but of entrusted purpose. First, prepare your body as a temple for what's coming. Favor often arrives through physical appointments, a call, a flight, a meeting that requires energy, clarity, and presence. Sleep, eat, and move with intention. If you carry tension or exhaustion, name it and release it. Those seasons that felt long and draining were not punishment. They were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment. They formed endurance. Now rest is part of your readiness. I remember a season when I nearly missed a pivotal meeting because I ignored rest. I corrected course and the door opened because I showed up whole, not hurried. Second, ready your heart to receive without hustling. The Kairos hour breaks in spaces where humility still lives. If a phone rings and it's the voice you once offered kindness to, receive them as you did before the spotlight, without script, without agenda. When I was first noticed years ago, I did not perform. I simply listened. That listening opened a door that formal pitches could not. Keep your posture the same, authentic, gentle, available. The heavens honor that posture. Third, clear spiritual clutter. Fast the noise of comparison and gossip. When favor approaches, voices will multiply. Filter each one through the question, does this align with the heart that gave in secret? The pruning seasons that taught you restraint were not loss. They were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment. Trust that the refining was necessary to remove the tendencies that would have misused increase. Fourth, prepare for sudden confirmations. Expect a series of short, sharp signs in the hours and days ahead. A message that repeats a phrase you have been carrying, a person sliding back into your life with an apology and an introduction, a logistics email that changes a plan in your favor. These are Kairos fingerprints. I once received 3 confirmations in one morning, a text, a loan offer, and a dream with the same symbol, and by evening a gate had opened that I had prayed for in silence for years. Do not dismiss small echoes. They are often the first fold of unsealing. Fifth, practice an immediate posture when blessing arrives. Worship, thankfulness, and sober counsel. Before you celebrate publicly, celebrate privately. Speak a short prayer of gratitude. Thank you, Father, for this unfolding. Keep my hands clean and my heart open. Then call one trusted advisor. That 2-step keeps noise from becoming narrative and preserves your testimony. I have learned that a quick prayer followed by wise counsel prevents many premature mistakes. Sixth, be ready to steward sudden resources. Have a simple plan prepared now for what you will do if a doorway opens financially or with access. Will you set aside counsel? Will you allocate a percentage for counsel, for seed projects, for family, for savings? A basic allocation plan protects blessing from being frittered away. This is practical sanctity. The heavens honor structure as much as faithfulness. Seventh, expect a moral test disguised as a favor. Some offers will glitter and ask you to compromise. The first temptation is to justify the shortcut. Remember, the very things that hurt you were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. The lesson was to keep your core intact. When an offer asks you to trade who you are for speed, step back. The right door will not require you to leave your soul at the threshold. Eighth, cultivate immediate generosity. When blessing touches you, let your first act be to bless a forgotten place. Send a gift to someone who once stood with you, or to a ministry that echoes the heart that birthed your moment. I once took a small portion of a new opening and sowed it into a neighbor's seed project. Within months, that act returned in unexpected introductions that furthered the very work I had received favor to do. Generosity lubricates the wheels of divine economy. Ninth, prepare to speak one sentence that matters. Destiny often hinges on a simple word said in the right season. Practice clarity. What is the core message you carry? Boil it down to one line that can be said in a minute. When I found my one sentence, truth doors started to open with less friction. Your sentence will not be a marketing slogan. It will be the distilled truth of what you were formed to release. 10th, guard your privacy and your pace. Not every arrival needs a viral moment. Let some windows open privately so you can learn to steward before you celebrate. The seasons of quiet you endured were not absence, they were training. The world will urge you to prove, but heaven will ask you to steward. Now hear this prophetic declaration, believing it in your bones. The sealed scroll attached to your seasons is unfastening. People who carry keys are remembering the day you showed up without seeking a reward. Conversations are happening behind doors that you have not stepped into yet. The shift will feel both sudden and inevitable because the Lord who wrote your timing is faithful to the watch. Expect communications that sound impossible and trust the peace that confirms them. My beloved, let joy meet sobriety. Rejoice that heaven has eyes on your kindness. Rehearse gratitude as your reflex. Keep the company of those who know your desert and danced in your rain. I speak from a life that has been brought low and lifted up, and I tell you with authority, walk into this with the same hidden heart that got you noticed. The great reversal that arrives will reward not your posturing but your posture, the posture of one who loved without reward and is now receiving in the right season. Stay soft, stay ready, and stay sacred. Heaven's clock has ticked to your hour. Move as one who has been prepared by pain that was preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, and by a daily yes. I hold your name in a place of favor. Receive what comes with both thanksgiving and stewardship. Chosen one, I seal this word over you now. Your sealed prophecy is opening, your hidden scroll is revealing, and you stand in your exact Kairos, the appointed hour on heaven's clock. The nights of waiting, the pressure, the loss were preparation, protection, pruning, alignment, not rejection. Receive favor, restoration, and doors that honor your obedience. Walk forward with humility, gratitude, and courage. Steward what comes with a generous heart. My beloved, remain faithful to the whisper that brought you here. If this stirred your spirit, leave a sacred note below or share with one who needs reminder. Go in peace and in power, so it is.